Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be sharing a reading goals check-in video with you. So in this video I'm going to be going over all of the 2021 reading goals that I made for the year, and I'm going to be talking about the progress that I've made now that we've finished the first quarter of the year. As you guys know, I've been saying in my book haul videos, one of my goals, I say that every single video so that I can hold myself accountable, and I thought that making a quarterly wrap-up video will kind of give you an idea of whether I am sticking to those goals that I made, and it'll also give me an idea if I'm sticking to those goals and if I need to adjust anything, or if I'm happy with the way that my reading has kind of shifted away from what I had wanted it to be in January. And then I'm also going to be talking about my favorite books of the year so far in 2021. So first I'll talk about stats and goals, and then I'll get into my favorites of the quarter, so stay tuned for that. But before I get started with the reading stats, I want to say a very big thank you to this video's sponsor, which is Boxu. I've actually never been so excited to work with a sponsor before. I personally have had a Boxu subscription for the past year-ish, year and a half. I can't remember how long it's been now, but my brother actually got me a subscription for my birthday and I love it. I look forward to getting it every single month, and we like it so much that for Andrew's birthday, we asked if he could just renew the subscription so that we could get it for longer. So, longtime fan, but if you don't know what Boxu is, it is a Japanese snack box. Boxu partners with 100+ years old family snack businesses, and they actually develop some snacks that are in the Boxu just for this. It ships directly to you from Japan, and it actually ships for free to the United States. First-time subscribers of Boxu will receive this box that I'm holding, which is called Seasons of Japan. This is the little catalog that comes inside of it, and this is so helpful. They go over each snack that's in the box, and they also tell you a whole bunch of facts about it. And one of the things that I find to be the most helpful, it tells you whether the item is vegetarian or not, which I am a vegetarian, so it's very good to know that, because sometimes there are surprise ingredients and things and you just don't know if you're gonna be eating something that is not vegetarian. But Andrew loves when the answer is no, because then he gets to eat them without sharing them with me. And then also really cool is that in each booklet they actually give you a map of Japan, and they show you exactly where each snack in the box came from, which is so cool. So you're basically eating things from all over the country, not just from, some of the most popular places that we all know. So first time subscribers will get this Seasons of Japan box so that they can get an idea of what they're going to see in Boxus going forward. It has snacks from each season, so winter, spring, summer, and fall, different things that highlight some of the best of the best. And then if you are a repeated customer, you will get a themed monthly box. So like I mentioned, I am a subscriber, so I have the themed monthly box here, which is the Sakura Spring Box, and oh my gosh, there was so much in this that was so good. Also, this is my favorite box that they've ever done. Another thing that I really love about Boxu is that each Boxu includes a tea pairing, and I am a huge tea drinker, so I always look forward to getting to try a new tea straight from Japan each month. This is what the box looks like once you open it, so everything is laid out really nicely in here. I didn't want to disrupt anything before I was filming because it looks so nice, and I'm gonna make a huge mess when I take everything out of it. I actually have had some of the things in this box before because, like I said, I've been subscribed for a bit. So these Hokkaido red bean donuts are incredible. So good. This was at the bottom. This is what I was digging for, but this is another one of my favorite items in the box. It's a stick potato, so it's kind of like potato chips, but they're actually kind of sour. It's an unusual taste. It's like a plum chip, which is something that I just have never had before outside of these boxes, and I really, really like them. I've actually been holding on to all of the past catalogs that we have and circling the snacks that we really enjoy, so that way when we do go to Japan in the future, we can seek some of these things out. If you're interested in getting your own authentic Japanese snack box from Boxu, you can get 10% off and save up to $47 on your subscription if you use my code MerilyKristen10, and I'll leave a link down below in the description so that you can get over to their website and also just see what else they have. Oh, so good. I am obsessed with this company. So thank you again to Boxu for sponsoring, and I'm so excited to be done filming because that means that I can start eating the things in the box. Okay, so on to my 2021 reading goal check-in. So I actually went back and watched my 2021 reading goal video, which was actually my first video back to YouTube after taking a little bit of a break there last year. And I wrote down everything that I had planned out so that I could figure out how I'm doing for this video. So goal number 1 is to read 100 books for the year, with my stretch goal being 150 books, which does feel like a stretch at this point, but I'm doing pretty well. As of the end of March, I read a total of 35 books. So that definitely puts me ahead of schedule for reading 100. I mean, we're into April now, but the last time that I checked Goodreads, it said that I was about 13 books ahead of schedule, though I did just start reading a Wheel of Time book, so wouldn't be surprised if that goes down a lot over the next couple of weeks. And then I also still have some of the like very big books that I planned on reading on my TBR, so I think I've just been reading some shorter things, which has allowed me to read as many books as I did. I know I don't read as many books as like a whole lot of other booktubers. I used to read so much, but I'm really happy with the way that I've been reading lately, so I feel very good about this number. Moving on to goal number 2. So I wanted to read 1 nonfiction book per month, giving me a total of 12 nonfiction books during the entirety of 2021. As of the end of March, I've read a total of 10 nonfiction books. So I think it's pretty safe to say that I will be making that goal. And it also works out because I do feel like I listen to the majority of nonfiction on audiobook. And as you guys know, because I've said a couple of times, but all of my audiobook listening has kind of shifted into catching up on Critical Role. So I haven't actually listened to an audiobook since March. I listened to 1 in March, and that was like a lot lower than usual. Goal number 3 was to buy less books with a quantitative number. So my goal is to buy 10 or less books per month, but with the caveat of me having to have read 10 books or more that month in order to purchase 10 books. I would say that this was a pass. In my video, I did say that there would be some exception months, and March was an exception month. I purchased 11 books in March. I was 1 over the limit that I had planned for myself, but it was because I got a couple editions of Chain of Iron. And despite being over my limit, I actually read 16 books in March, so I read well over what I purchased. But spoiler alert, watch me fail miserably on this goal in April. Goal number 4 is to reread, and as of the end of March, I have only reread 1 book, and that book was The Hobbit, and I very, very thoroughly enjoyed it. I am planning on rereading Kings of the Wilds, hopefully by the end of April, so I'll have another one under my belt. I didn't actually give myself a number of books that I wanted to reread, just the fact that I wanted to do it because I know that I enjoy rereading, but it takes a lot for me to get my mind to be like, yes, we are going to reread this book that you have already read instead of reading one of these like million new books that you have to choose from. I always get distracted by like the new things, and I really wanted to take a lot of time this year to invest in rereading because I know that I enjoy it when I do it. Goal number 5 was no more book boxes, and I definitely am excelling on this goal. I did say in there that I like the book only options because you're able to see what the cover looks like in advance. It's usually something that you already know if you like the book or not. So there have been a couple of instances where I have purchased book only book box things, but I don't have like a subscription to something that's going to come with like a lot of random like bookmarks or whatever. I purchased the Illumicrate Infernal Devices series. I also purchased the Illumicrate From Blood and Ash hardcover. Have I gotten anything else? Oh, I purchased one thing the other day, but it's an April purchase, so I won't talk about that one. Goal number 6 was really easy. It was to have no reading commitments, and I thankfully have followed through on that. Basically meaning I'm not doing any buddy reads, I'm not doing any readathons, I'm not pressuring myself to read anything. I am going with my mood reading instincts, reading what I feel like reading at the time. I actually found that having set the goal for myself of not having commitments has actually caused me to follow my TBR more closely, which is interesting because I feel like last year I would make TBRs and then read like nothing on them because I would be like, I don't want to read any of those books. Now I would read this book, which is fine. But this year, and I explained it in that video too, but like I just felt like I was not in control of my reading life for like a little while, and I feel like I've regained control. So now when I'm planning things, I am tending to like stick to them, which is just a nice feeling for someone like me who likes to make lists and check things off. It's worked out very nicely. Goal number 7 was to maintain my bookish bullet journal, and this is the first goal that I definitely failed on. I had a really rough couple of months in the beginning of the year, really rough February, really rough March. Doing better now, but still having some tough moments. But I did spend a lot of time the other day updating everything in my bookish bullet journal, so I'm hoping that I will stay on top of it going forward because I really do enjoy doing it and enjoy like setting up spreads and stuff, but I just didn't have the time to commit to it. I had a lot of things going on personally and I just couldn't. So despite failing, I'm not going to be too hard on myself about this one. Goal number 8 was to read Little Women, and I completely forgot that I made this as a goal for myself. I was watching and I was like, oh, I did say that, didn't I? So obviously haven't done that yet, but that feels more like a winter kind of read to me, so maybe it'll be something that I get to like in the latter half of the year. And then my cheesy goal number 9 was to have fun, and I do feel like I have maintained that. I feel like I've been really enjoying reading. I've been really liking a lot of the things that I've picked up. A lot of things have been very different from what I normally would read, and I think that it has kind of opened my eyes as a reader and like just introduced me to some more genres and some more topics that I wouldn't have picked up otherwise, and that's been really nice. And then I've also had a lot of fun filming. It's been really nice to get back and have like twice a week communication with you guys. I love talking to all of you in the comments. I really appreciate everyone who watches my videos and who has made me feel welcome upon my return. So yeah, that's just been really nice. And I've also been branching out a little bit more this year and posting some videos about some of my other interests. So those obviously don't get as many views because a lot of people are here like just for the book stuff, which I understand, but it's been a really fun creative outlet for me to make videos and to talk about those other things that I enjoy. And it's also been really fun because I feel like the comments that I get on those videos are some of the best because they're from people who are also really interested in those things, and I feel like there's not like a ton of people on YouTube that talk about those kinds of things, so it's just like fun to connect with other people that have the same interests. So yeah, I would say overall I'm doing pretty well when it comes to following my goals for the year. I think that I will probably succeed on most of them. There are a couple that I might fail on, but as of now I think I'm on the right track. So now I'm going to talk about my 5 favorite books from the first quarter. And if you've watched my monthly wrap-ups, I think it'll be pretty easy to guess which books I'm going to be discussing, but nonetheless, here we go. I'm just going to be going in chronological order. I'm not going to rank these from like favorite to least favorite because these are all favorites. So first is If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha. This was super interesting. It's about 4 women in South Korea, and it just is like a slice of life novel, and it discusses the unreasonably high beauty standards, and I just was fascinated. I really enjoyed this one from start to finish. I could not put it down. Next is The Answer Is by Alex Trebek. This is Alex Trebek's memoir, and I just love this. I am a very long-time Jeopardy fan. I have been watching the show for so many years with my whole family. All of us really love it. It's so much fun to like be competitive and try to get the answers. I feel like I do better when my brother's there because he's like by far the smartest of any of us, and I feel like I have to be like super on my toes to try to get answers in before him. It was so nice to learn more about Alex Trebek and learn more about his life because he's been such a constant. Like he's always been there throughout my entire childhood all the way through like adulthood. I never realized how little I actually knew about Alex Trebek the person. I just knew him as Alex Trebek, the game show host. So this was just delightful. Then I've got Working on a Song by Aeneas Mitchell. This is all about the Broadway show Hadestown. It goes through all of the lyrics of the songs in the show, and It's annotated by Aeneas, who is the creator. She discusses different anecdotes about the song and where she got inspiration from, and just the way that everything has kind of evolved from the original soundtrack all the way through the Broadway show, and it was amazing. It's all about Greek mythology. It's a story that is focusing on Orpheus and Eurydice, as well as Hades and Persephone, and it's so good. And Hermes. Hermes is actually like my favorite actor in the show. He does an amazing job. But all of their voices and everything are just so excellent. I listened to this one on audiobook and it was amazing. Then my favorite fiction novel of the year so far is definitely Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Last Hours trilogy, and I love it. I would read so many more pages of this book if it existed. It just really was an emotional punch to the gut. She really just gets you to fall in love with these people and just be or characters fall in love with these characters. They feel so real and just get so invested in their lives and in what's going on. This series for me is extremely character driven, which I think is why it's turning out to be my favorite of her series so far. The thing that sticks out to me isn't the main line of the story. It's all of the little character moments and all of the things that were just so funny. Love this book, love this series, love the Shadowhunter world. And then lastly, I never tend to include rereads in my favorite books of the year because they're books that I've already read, but I thought maybe I would include them in quarterly ones because why not? So my last favorite to talk about is The Hobbit by Tolkien. I love this book. I think it's such a fun adventure story and I just love the world of Middle-earth. It's fascinating and beautiful and lyrically written. I hadn't read this one in a really long time, so it was nice to revisit. So those are all of my quarter one reading goal check-ins and my favorites of the year so far. Let me know how you're doing on your reading goals and let me know what your favorite book has been in 2021 so far. I always think it's fun to pick out favorites as the year goes on instead of trying to make a list at the end. So definitely interested in hearing what you guys are enjoying. But that's all that I have for this video, so I will see you soon in a new one. Bye!